peace, peace, Black people. Welcome to Yemima's World, the Jelly Moose's Cafe. We are our ancestors. Of course, it's always good to be Black in the land of the living once again. It is Sunday afternoon. I'm a little late in doing this presentation or doing this episode, I should say, but I'm trying to get it in. It was a long day yesterday and I was a little tired today, but it's all good. It's all good. Better late than never, I say. So today's episode is Sankofa Sunday. And for those of you who don't know what Sankofa is, it means to go back and get it. Um, I believe it's a Swahili word. I'm not sure. It may be a Yoruba word. I should have looked that up first. But it means to go back and get it. And whatever that it is that you need to move forward or to honor those that came before us, go back and get it. So today's Sankofa Sunday or Sankofa moment is setting the table. And I don't know what prompted me to think about this. I don't know if I was cooking dinner or because a lot of times when I'm cooking, especially on Sundays, when I'm cooking the meal for my ancestors, I often reminisce while I'm cooking about growing up and having dinner at my grandmother's house or Sunday dinners at home or at the church even. And what I remembered about dinner time, and not just Sunday dinner, but anytime growing up, for me in our household, we would set the table before we would eat. My mother did the cooking, and when she finished cooking, she would call me or one of my sisters um, to come and set the table. And she would loudly, Valerie, come and set this table. And I would go in and I would get the dishes out and I would set a plate for each one of the family members. I would put a glass for them on the table. I put ice in the glasses and even pour whatever liquid we had. I put the knives and the spoons and the forks beside the plates. And we always would set the food on the table. So you didn't have to get up to go to the stove to get anything. It was always sitting there. And so you're sitting there and you're pass me the potatoes or pass the chicken or pass the biscuits or whatever. But the table was always set before we would sit down to eat. And I miss those times because it was a time where I was able to just communicate with my mom and we would have conversations while I was setting the table. And then we would have conversations, of course, at the dinner table as well. We would talk about what happened in school, or my dad would talk about things that's going on at the church or the meeting that they had at the church the night before. Just conversation. And after we were done, my dad would always be the first one to finish eating. He would put his utensils on his empty plate, and he would get up and he would push his chair underneath the table. That meant he was done. And we never like took our plates to the sink. That was something that whoever set the table, you cleared the table. Not only did we set the table, but we cleared the table. We would rake the bones or whatever, in the garbage. And my sisters would wash the dishes and dry the dishes, or when I got old enough, I would wash the dishes and dry the dishes, and then you would sweep that kitchen, and then you were done. But I wonder if families nowadays do they still set the table before they eat, or do the kids come in and get a plate out of the cabinet and go to the stove and get their food and take their food back to their room, or take their food back to the den to watch TV? Nowadays, because we have electronics, a lot of kids come to the table with their phones, and it's just taking the place of having family conversation. I'm not saying every family because I don't know, but it's just kind of what you see on TV, of families being at the table, with their phones and things of that nature. So I wonder. So if your family still sets the table, if you have children that still come and set the table and put the ice in the glasses and pour whatever drink you're having with dinner that night. And yeah, if your family's still doing it, drop some in the comments. Say, hey, we still do this. We still have those moments, those family moments. I think it's an important moment in families. Again, because of electronics and social media, families have just gotten away from communicating with each other. And that's a lot of times why you don't know what's going on with your family at school or in the community, college, whatever it is. You don't know what's going on with your kids because we don't sit around the dinner table and talk about it anymore. We used to take turns saying the blessings. For the most part, my dad used to say it, but there were some times where my mom would, look at me and she would say, ask the blessing. And no matter what you are, Christian, Buddhist, Jewish, Muslim, most people say some type of prayer before they eat. And if, again, it's such a small thing, but it's could have such a big impact on your family. Just setting the table. All right. That's it. It was just going to be short and sweet today. It's just a Sankofa moment, a Sankofa Sunday. And I think I may start to do more of these Sankofa Sunday or even a Sankofa Saturday. Depends on what uh, spirit or the ancestors lay on my heart to go back and get. All right. So it's been a Sankofa Sunday moment. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. You know the drill. Love yourself, love each other. Give each other some grace, give yourself some grace. We are our ancestors. Honor your ancestors, and they will honor you. Until next time, stay black, family. Peace.